game of the week is what, in your estimation? What do you got for me?
In my eyes, the most intriguing game actually involves your alma mater. They're going to host USC. And if you had asked people a month ago, all right, we're thinking USC is going to be lucky to be a 7-win team. Mm-hmm. Michigan's coming off the national title win. I'm thinking still, because they had to replace so many guys, I thought they were like an 8-4 team. I still thought here's where I'm different on this, that I've changed in the last couple of weeks. USC, yes, their defense has looked markedly better. Mm-hmm. That's a credit to Danton Lynn, the new defensive coordinator. But I didn't think USC's offensive line was very good, and I thought Michigan's defense should be outstanding still, and I thought their D-line would be really scary. Wink Martindale, unlike a lot of the other, there's been a bunch of defensive coordinators in college who came from the NFL, whether they were coordinators in the NFL or position coaches, and they really did a terrific job. Two of those guys that I would reference, both were in Ann Arbor. First Mike McDonald, then Jesse Minter. Danton Lynn, another guy, was with the Ravens. Chip Kelly hires him, first-time DC, does great last year for UCLA. Al Golden, now he's been in college for a while, but he was with the Bengals and then came from the Bengals. He's been really good for Notre Dame. Even the guy Dion hired in Boulder right now, Robert Livingston, spent a dozen years with the Bengals. He was a safeties coach. Mm-hmm. I think he's done a really nice job there because they were awful on defense before, and they've actually played pretty well, and they've made improvements. Wink is the one who's probably the most seasoned of the NFL guys, and there was just a lot of stuff that looked really unsound, especially looked like they were step off certainly against Texas. And they have experience and they have players on that side of the ball. To me, it's different than their issues on offense. And the matchup of Wink trying to contain Lincoln Riley, if I was a Michigan fan, I would be not comfortable with that because Michigan's offense is not great, so it's not like you feel like they're going to be getting 28 points.
Well, certainly if it's a similar situation of Wink trying to, contain Sark's team, right? And that's why I'll be straight up, man. Like I'm concerned about what happens when Chip Kelly is going to be coordinating the offense.
I think they're going to smash Michigan because they're way more loaded than USC has a very good quarterback. He's not mobile like Caleb, but he's good. He's accurate. He's really smart. Yeah. They have a bunch of big time receivers. I don't think their offensive line is outstanding. Right now, I think it's best to say it's okay. The running backs are not what Ohio State has. They're not typically what USC has, but they're good enough. I just think Lincoln's is a terrific schemer and good at drawing stuff up and exploiting things. And again, they have a really good quarterback, really smart quarterback, and really like 4 or 5 big-time receivers. And unless Michigan just absolutely, terrorizes Miller Moss and gets 4 or 5 sacks, and I don't see Michigan. Again, I think they have a better chance to beat them than they did Texas, because Texas has way more firepower and Texas has a much better offensive line than USC. But I could see why USC is the favorite.
Well, and I know you mentioned you're talking about the defense as opposed to Michigan's offense. It would be helpful if you got a blitz-happy guy like Wink, right, who's like looking at 18-year-olds who were in high school last year and saying, how do you like cover zero, kid? And you're on an island. And it would be helpful if Michigan's run game was similar to last year's. It has not been.
The offensive line is not even close.
Correct. And it would be helpful if they play turnover-free football like last year, and they have not. And part of the issue is, walk-on quarterback with a great story, beat out the kid that a lot of we Wolverine fans thought was going to start, Alex Orji, who's starting this week. He's going to get that gig. Like, what do you think? What are they going to? Are they going to run it down? I was about to say they're going to bust into Schembechler Hall, right, and break some glass and take Benny Oosterbond's playbook from 19 whatever and run the ball, like run a triple option or something like that. Like, what are they going to do? Do you think?
I'm interested to see it because they feel really one-dimensional. Like Mullings actually has been the bigger threat for them right now. Like I keep wondering, Donovan Edwards. We talked about this, I feel like, a couple weeks ago. Like he had a great game against Ohio State when they needed him most on the road 2 years ago. Was really good in the national title game. But, like, there's times where you're like, what's going on here? Like, why is he I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows? He may be the guy 2 years from now who's on an NFL roster and has some big games. But it's like you desperately need a playmaker. Colson Loveland was banged up. They're not very good at receiver. Their offensive line is not what it was, which was great before, and now it's probably, just good. I just feel like their margin for error now on offense. And look, credit to JJ. I feel like there was times where people would say, "Oh yeah, he threw it 32 times in a row." Yeah, but JJ could make plays when they needed it to. He was accurate on the run. Yeah. Like he didn't get the credit he deserved, and I don't think JJ is griping about it or anything like that. But I just think there was a lot of stuff that people, including us in the media, took for granted about Michigan because they didn't need to do things the other way. Right now, it feels like they can only do things one way, and I don't know. I feel like it's hard for them to get more than 17 points. They feel all of a sudden a lot like Iowa on offense.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.